Hello, it's Crafty Rhea, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, welcome back. I hope you like what you see and click that subscribe button and then the bell so you're notified anytime I upload a new video. Today I'm going to be recycling these two thank you cards. Probably can't see that one so good. There we go. This one has some gold on it, and this one just has a pretty image with thank you. Can never have enough thank you cards, I think. So let's go ahead and get started. For the card bases, I'm going to do basically the A2 size with a small exception. This one's going to be 4 inches by 5.5, and this one will be 4 1/4 by 5.5. The reason for 4 inches for this one is because I have a bunch of these little envelopes, and it will work on the 4-inch side. This envelope goes really good with those purple polka dots. So that's what I'll be doing with that card. So let's go ahead and do that card first. I'm going to start by cutting the front off of the card. And then I'm going to cut the sentiment out of the inside. I don't always put a sentiment in my thank you cards, but if I have a sentiment for them, then I usually do. And this card was signed. It was used. I didn't want you to think I was recycling a brand new one. If it wasn't signed on the inside, I would have just embellished the front. So we have that. I will set that aside. And then we have this. So what I thought I would do is use this gold mirror and mat it on that. And this is only 4 inches wide, and I can just trim it down a tiny little bit and have just a really small white border around the edge. So I will start by trimming this down. I want to preserve as much of the background as I can and just cut out the word thanks, because I can pop that up on some 3-dimensional tape, or dimensional tape, I should say. I'm trying to cut it just so I have the gold with no white border. So that's really good. And then I have these 2 pieces left over, which is fine. And then for the mat, I'm going to cut it to 5 3/8. by 3 7/8. And that just gives just a tiny bit of a gold border. Now what I will do with this, I want to get a little more out of this. So I'm going to take one of my dies, because I'm going to use it on the other card, and I'm going to put it on here as centered as I can. I'll still have enough room for a border, because this is still wide enough. And it'll just be just a small gold border, but that's okay. So I'm going to cut out, this is a Spellbinders die. It is a scalloped oval. So I have my die cutting machine. It is the Big Shot by Ellison. Now it's called a Sizzix one, but this was Ellison design right before they changed the name. So I got it at a super duper price. I want to make sure I'm leaving enough gold on each side of the die cut. There's plenty of room on the top and the bottom. If this doesn't end up working, I have a lot more sheets of the gold. If it ends up being too narrow, I think it'll work. It's a very thick cardstock, so I ran it through twice. I will move this out of the way, and then I will just take that off and carefully punch that out. And you can see these little gold pieces stayed in. Sometimes they stick in the die, but you can easily just punch them out. And if you're super crafty, you can find something to do with those little gold pieces. I'm not really that crafty. Not that crafty. I'm pretty crafty. Okay, and I will set this aside for the other card. Get rid of my mess. Straighten my desk back out. So then I have this piece, and it will go on here matted perfectly, and that is fine. And then these pieces will also fit on here. Yep. So what I will do is I'm going to put these two together the way they came apart, and I'm going to put just some Scotch tape to hold them in the middle, and that's going to be okay. You'll see why in a little while. I just want to hold them together as if they're one, as if it's one piece. And then I'm going to cut this out so it will fit on here with just a little bit of a border. So I will cut the long side first, and this measures 5 3/8. So I'm going to cut this right now to 5 1/4. I want to make sure there isn't anything dented. There's a little dent in that corner, so I'm just going to take that top off just a little bit, and I'm going to measure this to 5 1/4, and then I'm going to just go side by side. I want to make sure that when I put it together it was perfectly even. So I have that side cut, and this is 3 7/8, so I'm going to make this at 3 3/4. So I have my card base. And that just gives it a little bit of a gold border around the edge, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to my card. I will use my Elmer's glue for this. Since there's just a narrow border. I didn't want to do too much more than 1/8 of an inch, because I figured I was cutting it kind of close. And I will just line this right up onto my card base. I have just a second to fix it. There we go. And then I will put this on there. I just want to see how that's going to look, if I need to come in any. No, I think that'll be fine. Since this is a very shiny surface, I'm going to go ahead and use my tape. And I think what I will do as well, since this will kind of bow in the middle a little bit. I'm going to put a couple pieces of this scrap on here just to give the middle a little more height. I'm really making a mess over here. Okay, let's put this pin back in my glue before I have trouble. There. And this then should lay a little flatter, and I want this crease to be on the lower part. That's pretty good. And then I will just line this up. There we go. And you cannot tell that the inside was cut out at all. So that is good. The center. It's pretty awesome. Then I will take this thanks, and I'm going to put it up on pop dots just straight across there, right where the seam is. Actually, I might just keep it down flat because I don't want to see the Scotch tape or anything like that under it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it flat on the card. I have some other embellishments that are three-dimensional. I will just trim this off on that side and on this side. Then I have some of these Julie's Boutique stickers. I have this bird. I want to see how it's going to look. I thought it did match the blue dots. I also have these butterflies, which I might do the butterflies instead. I have this blue butterfly and this yellow, and they both match the dots. The yellow matches the yellow dots, and the blue matches the blue. And there's also a purple. So maybe I'll just do the butterflies. I'll put this guy up there. That's so pretty. And this guy down there. I have some other flowers as well. I have this pack of flowers. And I kind of like the yellow. And I think I'll put a flower down here. I'll bring out some purple. There we go. Maybe just a little flower there. I'll put this little purple one here. There. I like that a lot. That's a really pretty thank you card to send to somebody. Let me move all of these out of the way. I have this purple cardstock that matches the envelope perfectly, so I will mat the sentiment on that. use a little bit of my Elmer's glue. And I'll cut that out. And I'll put that on the inside. I think that card came out really cute. Helps if I put it right side up. There we go. And let's move on to the next card. Okay, on to the next card. We have this thank you card. I have this center that I already cut out. I have a regular A2 size card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have these dies. What I did with these dies first, I cut them out of cardstock because I wanted to see if they would work. So the largest regular oval die will cut out that thank you part perfectly. And then it will fit on top of that. You'll see a little bit of the white underneath, but it's not really that bad. I think it looks kind of pretty. And this is what it would look like layered. So I think that's going to work out really nice. So I need to cut this card down first. And these ovals are Spellbinder's Nestabilities. There are 2 different sets of ovals, and I have both of them. They're slightly different sizes. This is the very largest out of all of them. And then the scalloped oval die set is this one here from Spellbinders. And I will go ahead and cut the front of this card off. And I will cut the center out. The sentiment, I should say. Okay. Then I need to see what size I need to make this. I need to take a little bit off the top and the bottom and a little bit off of each side. So I do need to make this 4 1/8. So I want to take a little bit off the bottom. I'll go with that much and bring this back to 4 1/8. And from side to side, I need to make it 5 3/8. That's way too much. Go little by little. I should have measured it. There. I wanted to try to keep that centered left to right. And then that just gives me a little bit of a white border, which is okay. Then I'm going to die cut the center of this out. every so often I flip my plates. I only use one plate for the bottom. As you can tell, this one has been used a million times, and it's really not that bowed. This has been the best set ever. Usually, I used to try to do it every other time, but now every couple of times I flip it over. And then the top one I only use for the tops. I don't use it for the bottom, for the cutting blade. And I think these have lasted me the longest. So I want to very carefully put this on here, try to get it evened up on all four sides. Just to cut that word thanks out of the middle, or thank you out of the middle. I think that's gonna work. I'll run it back just for good measure. And what I do when I store it, I find which side, you see this side, you probably can't see it. It is bowed up a little bit like this, and I can push it down. And I usually try to take that side and park it right in the middle, and that's how I store it. So it's holding it down. This isn't going to go anywhere. I can move it around. And I think it helps it to stay flat, or flatter. So there's the card base. And there's the thank you. I like it a lot. And that's how it's going to look on top of there. I do like the way that came out. I'm really excited. Okay, so then I will use some of my Elmer's glue. I needed some thank you cards, and I decided I better make some and make a video while I'm at it. Make sure it's the right way. And carefully push that down. And then I will use tape on the back of this and line that up on there, because this is shiny and the glue will slide all over the place. I'm going to kind of hold this up so I can line it up perfectly. There we go. And then I will use some of foam tape and put a little bit behind it just to help it stand up. And these, I'm using these tonic scissors with titanium blades. They tend to not gum up like the cutter bees do. So that is good. It's hard to do this without getting my head in the way. There we go. It's still not lined up perfectly. Hold on. That's much better. So we have that. I like it. And I got some of these Nuvo drops the other day, and I thought I would use them to embellish this since they match really good with the colors. This is Nuvo glitter drops in the color Spring Frost. I've not used it yet. Let me get a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and I'm just going to put some dots on here, just some random dots. I'm going to put some in these round pieces. And then this one, I read about these. These will dry sparkly and almost clear, and they usually keep their dome shape. And the vintage drops are, they dry matte. I'm going to remove that little tag. And I don't know if I have to do something to this lid. That should work. There we go. And I'm just going to put a couple more of these, and I'm going to just make it like 3. It'll be hard to see what these are like until it dries. These I got in the Echo Park mystery bundle, and there is an unboxing on my website. Not on my website, but on my YouTube. Just from a couple days ago. I think I posted that on Saturday, possibly. And I wanted to try these out. They are really cool. So when those dry, they will be shiny and shinier, and they should keep their shape. I also got these drops, these Nuvo Glitter Accents and Harvest Moon, and these are similar to Stickles. So that's kind of nice. You can, draw lines with it, make dots with it, or whatever. So that, I did my research on those. And then this, I did my research on this, and it acts like, you can use it like a paint or a medium to use with stencils. It does all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited to give that a try. Alrighty, well there you go. There is that card all dotted up and with some pretty gold bling. And I will add this to the inside once all those drops dry. I don't want to open the card and have them make a mess, because if you've seen my past videos, you know I tend to do that. Alrighty, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do click that subscribe button. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And also head on over to my Facebook group, Create with Crafty Rhea. We're having a good time over there. The ladies are awesome. And also go check out my Patreon page. The link is below. The link to my Facebook group is below as well. And The link for Tonic Studios is below where I got all of these goodies. Thanks again for watching, and until the next time, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.